It's an honor to introduce an amazing woman, Nicole Reina. Nicole Reina is a mom and wife, studied MBA Management and Finance at Florida International University. She's a CEO at Amaze Clean, winner of Rising Star of the Year. I think that was last year in May 2020. Founder is part of the Founders Club in ByDzyne and Diamond in ByDzyne as well. So, and she has a bio over there, Vice President at BNI, the world leading referral organization, member, Charlotte Business Inclusion Advisory Committee, member board of directors in Lyson and Charlotte as well. And as I told you, is a CEO and founder at Amaze Clean. So her background is amazing. So what I share in this, because this business, this industry, we had different background, different professional people. So it's amazing the background that Nicole has, and she's going to share more about her. And please be ready and put one to welcome on the chat box, right? Number one, to welcome an amazing leader, an amazing mom, and entrepreneur in ByDzyne. Nicole Reina, let me start sharing my screen so you can share you on. And welcome everyone. Welcome, Nicole. So the microphone is yours, and the room is yours as well.
Thank you so much, Lucia, for that warm welcome. I am very excited to be here. This is actually my first training. So I was thinking for all week, what was I going to train? What am I going to tell you guys? And, you know, I could have picked something with network marketing to kind of tell you how to do things. But at the end of the day, there's so many resources already out there, you guys. When it comes to network marketing, you can find the how-to recruit. You can find the how-to create the D3 planner. The third thing you can actually find on your own. The kind of training that I wanted to do is something a little more deeper, because you are in the current reality that you're in because of your mindset, because of the way that you think, because of the belief that you have. If you're not happy with the current situation, it doesn't matter how many resources you go and learn. You have to fix your mindset. You can spend all day if you want, getting certified in this, certified in that. And at the end of the day, if your mindset is not where it's supposed to be, you will not be successful. You will be one of those people for 6 months learning and learning and learning and then getting frustrated at why you're not getting success. So I wanted to do a training that would teach you this, that would teach you exactly what is it that's keeping you from fulfilling your dream. What is it that's keeping you from being the next Christian Nunez or the next Jeb Brainerd? You know, what is keeping you from going to that next level? Some of you are already aware that, you know, I have my own limited beliefs because I am deaf. So one of the things that I've had to battle my entire life is my own limited beliefs on what I can and can't do simply because of my disability. I have 2% hearing, which means 98% of it is missing. Right now in this moment, I'm wearing one hearing aid because the other one broke. I rely on lip reading. Sign language is not part of my vocabulary. I'm not aware of sign language. I don't know how to do it. So yeah, I'm just kind of, the hearing aid is what I'm relying on and lip reading. So you can imagine when COVID hit, the mask, when I go outside, it stripped me of my communication. So if I'm looking at someone and they're wearing a mask, I have no idea what they're saying. I have to ask them, you know, please take your mask down, so on and so forth. So you can imagine the fear, the kind of challenges that I've had to overcome to even be sitting in front of you guys today to be able to do the training. And I'm hoping that through the end of this training, I'm going to show you guys just how powerful your own beliefs are and just how much you're really holding yourself back. For me to be here in front of you today has taken a lot. It's taken a lot to believe in myself, to know that I can do something. And I am really inspired that you guys are here listening to me, because 10 years ago, I didn't even believe that I would be here, whether it's my speech, whether it's you know, the lack of hearing, whatever it is. So the fact that I'm here today, it says a lot about myself and of course you guys, because you guys decided to make a difference and show up. That's the first step to success, by the way. You got to show up. So I congratulate all of you guys for being here on this call. And I really, really hope that you get what I'm trying to give you and you inspire yourself to make a difference. And I know that by the end of the call, if you apply the tools that I'm going to share with you, your life will begin to change, and I can guarantee that. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a presentation that I created. And let me go ahead and share the screen real quick. Yeah. Okay. So I want to first talk about a belief. And what exactly is a belief? A belief, you know, is different from a fact. A fact is something that has been proven, is scientifically proven, and it's a truth. It's a fact. Doesn't matter if you have an opinion on that fact. It's a fact. A belief is the opposite. A belief is something that someone had told you, or maybe an experience that you've gone through, and you have developed that belief, your own opinion. And that's an opinion that's become concrete in your mind. It's something that's very, very, very hard to change once it's set in there. So a belief is an attitude. It's the mental disposition you have towards others and the current circumstances before making decisions that result in action. So if you have the attitude of, oh no, I can't do this, you know, what is this? Any kind of a negative attitude, that is going to affect your decision. And it's going to affect your manifestation. It's going to affect your dream. Because it's going the wrong way. Attitude matters. A belief is an opinion. It is a thought that you keep repeating to yourself. It is exactly why you are the situation that you are in, whether good or bad. Your belief is what got you here. My belief that I could do anything I put my mind to got me here, speaking in front of you guys today as a top leader of ByDzyne. A belief is a state of mind. And many of you guys know Mahatma Gandhi, one of the most powerful spiritual gurus of our modern time. And he states that man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If I keep on saying to myself that I cannot do a certain thing, it is possible that I may end by really becoming incapable of doing it. On the contrary, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it in the beginning. Once again, I have 2% hearing, you guys, 2% hearing. So if I took that belief and let that stand in my way, I'm pretty much incapable. I'm saying I'm incapable of doing anything if I let it stand in my way. So simply by believing that I can do anything without even thinking of my impairment, that's what allowed me to transcend through many obstacles in my own life. So here's some common beliefs. You know, in network marketing, we all know the objection. People, these are all the reasons that people can give why they don't join network marketing or why they don't start a business. Let's say that you have a job, you're working 9 to 5. Why don't you start a business? And these are the common beliefs. I myself had them for years before I started my own company with Amaze Clean. Lack of time. You know, many people say they don't have the time. There's 24 hours in a day. You have the same time as Jeff Bezos. You have the same time as Elon Musk. The same. They don't have any more. Lack of money. Now, this is very, very, very common. Lack of money can be a fact because if your bank account is negative, it is a fact. But then again, it's how you believe about the lack of money. Is that what you're focusing on? Is the lack of money? Guess what? That's all you're going to get. Lack of success. Lack of a network. This is even more common. People say, I don't have a network. I don't know people. I don't go anywhere. I'm going to share this story with you guys for a moment. When I was in Florida, my husband and I got married in 2004. I was a general manager at a retail store. Many of you guys are familiar with Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic, Calvin Klein. I got my experience running stores through those companies. And I can tell you that my mindset while I was running those stores, I had to recruit and find people. And I didn't know anyone, how I was going to get them into my stores. I had to think outside the box to bring people in. My husband told me to open up our own business, quit the 9 to 5. 9 to 5 in retail is really 7 days a week, 6 days, with a break in between. It's a lot of hours. I sacrificed my family, I sacrificed my time, I sacrificed a lot of things for 15 years because I was scared. I was scared of all of these things that you see here, starting my own company. Lack of knowledge is another one. Past experiences, in my opinion, is the number one. We dictate what we're going to do in the future based on what happened in the past. And I can tell you, my friend, that's the #1 recipe for failure. You learn from your mistakes and you try again. We wouldn't have the light bulb. If Benjamin Franklin hadn't tried over 1,000 times to figure it out, I wouldn't have a hearing aid today sitting in front of you if someone hadn't believed that they could figure it out. It didn't come by magic. It came from repeated. So there is one, if you guys can tell me, what is the one definition of all of these? These all fall into a particular category. And please put in the chat box if anyone can guess what that is. There's a name for all of this. And while you guys think about that for a second, I'm going to give you the answer. Limiting beliefs. Every single one of these are your own limiting beliefs. Nobody else's but yours. These are the beliefs that are keeping you from going to the next level. So I want you to take a moment now, get paper and a pencil, and just a little bit of an interactive exercise. So I want you guys to write down some of your own limited beliefs that are holding you back right now in this moment from success, whether it's from network marketing, whether it's financial success, whether it's your family, your love life, it doesn't matter. It's what? Just start thinking about the limited beliefs that you have. And I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to write those down. Okay, so you've already got just a few of the limited beliefs there. I want you to really look at those limited beliefs now. I want you to read them and look at them. Do you really believe what you're seeing? Do you really, really believe it? Look at them right now and say, you know, can I do this? I can't do this, whatever it may be. For me, I used to think that I couldn't do what I'm doing right now in front of you. That was a limited belief. I had a fear that because I couldn't hear, I couldn't speak in front of you. Did I really believe that? Obviously not, because I'm here. Now, some of you might really believe what you wrote down, and that's okay. It's okay if you still believe in your own limited beliefs. It takes time and it's a process. I still have limited beliefs that I'm working through. I have limited beliefs that I was able to overcome, but then more come up. It's an ongoing process. So don't feel bad if you aren't at that point yet. It's okay. Are you aware that you are the only one holding yourself back? All those limited beliefs that you wrote, did you apply and tell you that? Did your mom tell you that? Your family, your friend? And even if they did, who's the one that's holding it back? It's not the upline. Blaming anybody else in your outside environment isn't doing anyone any good. It's only hurting yourself. So now that you know that you have the key to change, you have it. You have it within you. Know that anyone with the right level of willpower can change. And that is a fact. Anyone with the right level of willpower. Willpower is the key word. You have to want it. You have to want it for yourself. And if you don't really want it, then what are you doing here? Find what you want. When you believe you can, when you believe in the possibility, you don't even have to believe that you're going to accomplish it. Just believe in the possibility. Is there a 0.01% chance that you will make it? That's remote, but believe it. If you just believe in that one little possibility, you are now into a state of mind that allows solutions to present themselves. Have you guys ever had a moment where you're sitting down and you're struggling through a problem and then all of a sudden, I got it! I figured it out! Guess what? You believed in a possibility, the universe delivered you the solution. But you gotta be open. Negative mindset closes the door to the universe. It closes the door to solution. Negative mindsets are going to attract negative thoughts. And those thoughts are going to pull you further and further and further away from your dream, no matter how hard you work. Working hard doesn't matter if your mindset is closed. You got to allow the solution to come. And then when they do come, you got to trust yourself. Therefore, with consistent focus, you will eventually achieve what at first seems impossible. And any one of the top leaders in the world will tell you this, because they started from somewhere. At one point, they were like you and me, Jeff Vanderloo, Christian Nunez, Eric Worre, all the greats in network marketing. They all sat where we're sitting right now trying to figure this out. And they made it. So what is it that these guys had in common? I mean, we can say, they are successful, we can say whatever we want about their upbringing, about their minds in terms of education that they've had, whatever it is. But there is something that they all have in common no matter what their upbringing was. And before you answer that, I want you guys to put one in the chat box if you generally think we are all the same in terms of potential, regardless of your current situation. First one of you believe that we're the same people. We bleed red, our hearts are the same, our minds are the same. Guys, they all eliminated their own limited beliefs. They eliminated their own limited beliefs surrounding the craft. That's why they made it. That's why Christian Nunez is a clown. That's why I'm not a clown at this very, very moment. I've got to work through my own limited beliefs to get to where I'm going. These guys consistently believed that they could do it. Financially, they believed that they could do it. They dreamed big. They dreamed really big. If Christian Nunez dreamed that he was going to be a diamond one day, he would have limited himself to being crown. So Christian said, I want to be crown. And he made it. And every single one of us can too. So, for those of you that now think differently, so let's say that you wrote these limited beliefs down, and let's say after listening to what I've just said, after looking at the great Jeff Vanderloo and Christian Nunez that I've mentioned, and let's say, you know what, I can do it. Great picture, right? Cutting off the teeth. I can do it. So now brings the next question, the how, right? Well, sure, you believe you can, but then how am I going to do that? What's stopping me from going? How can I change these limited beliefs? Where are you going to start? That, I believe, is the hardest question for anyone because it's a figuring it out that becomes a challenge. So some of us do believe deep down that we can do it, but then we struggle with how in the world are we going to figure this out? So I've got a trick for you guys. I'm introducing Dr. Joe Vitale. And the reason why I want to introduce him is because if you don't know who he is, Google him, please. He is an expert of the law of attraction. And he is featured in the movie The Secret on Netflix. And if you haven't seen The Secret, it's been around since 2006. It's about an hour and a half long, but it's a very powerful introduction to the law of attraction. It really talks about your thought process and what it is that's going on that's preventing you from fulfilling your dreams. And Dr. Joe Vitale is one of the speakers that was featured on The Secret. Now, Dr. Joe Vitale's background is he's a hypnotist. He hypnotizes people to help them clear out their limited beliefs, and he is a belief-clearing practitioner. I'm proud to call him my mentor. I've went through a couple of his classes, and I've been able to utilize the tools that he portrayed in the classes. So there's about 12 tools altogether that you can use in clearing beliefs. And today I'm going to share with you 3 of them. 3 of the top 3. And I can tell you guys that when you really practice these techniques consistently for 21 to 30 days, your life is going to be night and day. You're going to be in for a wild ride. Consistency is the key. You don't do it for one day and then decide the next day, you get lazy. It's got to be consistent. Because remember, you are consistent with a negative thought pattern. That's why we're not fulfilling the dream that we are today. That's why if you wanted to be a billionaire, for example, that's why you're still all where you are. Consistency is the name of the game. So you consistently held yourself back in whatever shape, form, or manner in the decisions that you've made, in the beliefs that you've made. So now you've got to consistently get yourself out of it. So today's golden nugget. I'm going to share with you 3 methods to clear limited beliefs. And these 3 methods are available all across the internet. You guys can go on Google and start researching. Joe Vitale is not the only one that had come up with he didn't come up with the method. He just shared them. He's an expert in them. But there's other experts that you can look into, whatever reaches your, whatever tickles your fancy. They need to resonate with you. You need to pick the one that resonates with you, because the ones that resonate are the ones that are going to work. These methods that I show you, these are not to be done in just a half manner. This is to be done in belief. Like, you got to get into it and put your mind into it and really want to change. And once you make that decision that you really want to change, change will happen. It's inevitable. That's the law of attraction. So the first one, Ho'oponopono. This is an ancient Hawaiian spiritual chant. It's a prayer. And it involves learning to heal all things by accepting total responsibility for everything that surrounds us. And what do I mean by that? Total responsibility. That is you. You and you alone are responsible for every single thing that happened to you, good or bad. And it's a very hard pill to swallow for a lot of us, especially me, because the law of attraction dictates that you attract everything that happened in your life, whether it's good or bad. So the bullying that I went through, the trauma that I went through, all the situations that were negative, I attracted it by my own thoughts. The fear. I really didn't want to be bullied. For example, I used to cry in school. They used to shove me into the locker. They used to pull my hair. They used to hit me. They used to call me names in the hallway. I remember one time they opened up my backpack and all my papers just thrown in the hallway, right in the middle of where the class was changed. And it kept happening repeatedly. And I remember thinking, why? Why is it happening to me? I'm good. I'm a good person. Why? And I used to cry. But you know what? That's all I focused on. I only focused on what was happening to me. And guess what? The law of attraction brought more of it. That's the way it works. The same thing happens when it's good. So had I thought the opposite, had I thought, you know what? I'm going to focus on the people that do like me. I'm going to focus on the people that love me, instead of focusing on the trauma, for example. Had I had this tool back then, oh man, this would have been awesome. So basically, the way this works, when you have a negative thought, you're going to say this prayer in your head, and it's 4 phrases. Very, very simple. And it's the same phrases for this prayer. Now, it's an ancient prayer, which means that people have been saying this prayer for centuries and centuries and centuries. So there's a lot of power in the energy that's created in the word. You can say these 4 phrases in any order, but the 4 phrases are the phrases of the Ho'oponopono. Who are you saying this prayer to? So this prayer is being said to your higher self. So those of you that understand divinity, we have a higher power, and that's okay if you don't. It's totally okay. There's no judgment here. But what this is that you're speaking to the good part of yourself, your higher self, the one that believes in everything, the one that knows that you can do anything you put your mind to, the positive one, the pure positive force. So you're saying this prayer to that person inside you when you say it. And these are the 4 words. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you. And the way this works, so for example, let's say that I get into an argument with someone. Sometimes our egoic need to be right just add to the situation, and the other person wants to be right too. So then it starts to escalate. At one point, somebody has to give in. And this is where if you really want to change, you got to be that bigger person. So what you would do is you're going to repeat in your mind while that person is supposed, let's say that person is raising a voice, or let's say that they're calling you names and really getting the vibration down. Instead of listening to what's coming out of their mouth, you're going to repeat this prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Because the number one thing you guys need to realize is about vibration. If someone is being rude to you and you think to yourself, wow, they're being rude, because you've identified the negative thought pattern, that means it's still active in you. Someone that's really positive, that really manifests everything they want in life, they don't pay attention to anything that's negative. Because anything that's negative happened to them is a learning experience. It means that they attracted it. They attracted that behavior that's coming to them, and they understand that. So by saying this prayer, you're keeping your vibrations high. You're telling your higher self, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I'm thinking about this person the way that I am. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for thinking these negative thoughts. Please forgive me for thinking bad about this person. I love you. You love yourself. I love you. And thank you. Gratitude, of course, is number one, you guys. Be thankful. Be thankful that you have this prayer that you can say to yourself to keep your vibes high. It doesn't mean, you guys, that it's okay for the other person to do it. I'm not saying that, it's okay for them to yell at you, or it's okay for them to, whatever it is that they're portraying to you. All I'm trying to say is that by showing kindness to that other person, remember, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know the struggle. Some people say, oh, she's so miserable. Well, why is she miserable? If you're in that same position, you might be miserable too. So instead of recognizing in the other person as negative, keep your vibes high. When you keep your vibes high, the whole world shifts. Just by saying this prayer, you are literally shifting the world. The energy is impactful. So you repeat this over and over again until you feel that your vibes get high. Sometimes you can say it 10 times, 20 times. It's all in your mind, but nobody really knows. This is an internal conversation that you are having. And I can tell you that it's guaranteed to diffuse any situation, because once the one person changes their mindset, the other one's going to calm down. The kindness will come out. The love will come out. And you'll see the person shift right away. So that's the first tool. Another way to use it is if you start thinking negative to yourself. So for example, let's say someone tells you, they bring you an opportunity, and then you start thinking, oh, I can't do that, or oh no. Or maybe you're thinking negative thoughts about yourself. Why did I do that? Dang it. Self-hate, things like that. Say this prayer to yourself the minute that you recognize it. The minute that you recognize you being negative, start saying this prayer. It'll change your vibration. Okay, the next one, EFT tapping. So this has become really popular all across the internet. If you go on YouTube, you can see so many examples of this EFT tapping. And basically what it is an emotional freedom technique. A lot of us have a hard time controlling emotions. I'm guilty for a long time because I lived in a state of frustration. And when you live in a state of frustration, anytime someone would come at me, I would So the emotions that's running through you, especially the negative one, there's a way to diffuse that negative emotion that's coming. Because when you feel the emotion, that means the thought you have precedes the emotion that comes. So if you have a negative emotion, that means that you've been thinking negative thoughts that brought it forward. And by then, the law of attraction has already started full force to bring you more thoughts like it. So for example, 17 seconds. You have 17 seconds to think a thought before the law of attraction will bring more thought to you just like it. You have 68 seconds before the momentum starts taking off in that direction. And by then, it's a little late, you guys. By then, you're already, your mood's affected. How many of you guys have stubbed your toe in the morning? You get upset, you stub your toe, and then you start walking, and then you hit your head, or you hit your arm, and then the whole day just gets ruined. That's because you spent too long in the time frame. Spent more than 68 seconds in that negative thought pattern. So this particular technique works wonderfully when you realize that you're in a bad mood. You're in a bad mood, or let's say that you're grieving. Let's say any of those negative emotions that don't feel good. So what this is, it's an alternative treatment for physical pain and emotional distress. The longer we stay in negative thought patterns, that's where the pain comes from. A lot of the pain that we experience in a lot of different areas, it comes from the negative thought, because your body does not resonate with negativity. It glows with positivity. So this particular method will help you create a balance in your energy system and treat pain. Now, before you start doing the tapping that I'm going to show you, the specific point that you would tap on. So before I show you that, there's a statement that you want to make. And this statement is what's going to help you change the belief as well. So this can be used when you have emotional issues. It can also be used to change a belief. I find that it helps me the most with anxiety. So, for example, I own my own company, and I've got to meet my payroll every 2 weeks. And sometimes my payrolls are tens of thousands of dollars. And that cash has got to be in the bank. And if my client didn't pay me, let's say they paid me on January 1st, I send the next invoice on February the 1st, they decide to pay me at the end of the month. That means I've gone 60 days of payroll that I got to figure it out on my own. And it creates anxiety. So in this particular example, what I would do is, even though I believe I'm not going to make my payroll, you state whatever statement it is that you believe you're not going to do. What is it that's giving you anxiety? even though I believe I will be late for work, even though I believe I have no fun, even though I believe whatever the negativity that follows it, you're going to state it. Then you're going to say, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Once you make that statement, then you're going to take the general subject matter. So in the first example, it was payroll. Maybe it's money. Maybe you're stressed out because you can't pay your bills and you don't have the money. So you have anxiety because you got to pay the bill tomorrow. So you would say, even though I believe I have no money, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. So these are the basic EFT tapping points. And again, there's a lot of them that go throughout the body, and I'm just showing you the basic one. So you're going to start at the top of your head, and you're going to use 2 fingers or 3 fingers, whatever's comfortable. And you're going to take your finger, then you're going to tap. And you're going to tap hard enough to do it, but not so hard that it makes pain. I mean, you're just kind of like a stern tap. And as you're tapping, you're going to repeat. For example, payroll, 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 payroll. Payroll, payroll, payroll. Then I go to the middle parts here, to my eyebrow. Payroll, payroll, payroll. Or if it's money, 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 money. Then I go to the sides of my eyes, again. Then after the sides of your eyes, you go under your eyes here. Then you go to your lips, the cleft of your lip right here. And you want to tap it where it's tapping, not too hard, but you want to tap it. Then you go to your chin. Then you go to your collarbone. Then after the collarbone, you're going to go underneath. It could be your left or your right hand. If you're right-handed, you probably want to do it on your right hand. But then you're going to tap right here at that point. Then after that, you're going to tap right here in your hand. This is another point. It doesn't really show on the picture, but you're going to tap here in between. The little piece where the skin is, and you're going to sit here and you're going to tap it. And as you're tapping all of those points, you tap it maybe 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you can keep going. It doesn't really matter how long you do it, it's whatever you're comfortable with. And you just continue that process throughout. And as you're tapping, what it's doing is it's waking up your nervous system. It's waking up your brain and it's saying, hey, pay attention to me. And when you're saying the statement, payroll, money, whatever it is that's giving you anxiety, your brain already knows the whole subject matter that's around that. So as you're tapping, you're telling your brain to calm down. I need solution. Everything's okay. This too shall pass. That's what the tapping is doing. It's waking up all of your sensory abilities there. This is an excellent, excellent, excellent tool for anxiety. So any of you guys that struggle with anxiety, I recommend you do some more research and start practicing the EFT tapping point. It's phenomenal. Okay, the third method, and this is probably one that you hear a lot in network marketing. You hear a lot about visualization. You hear a lot about manifesting. You know that manifesting has, all of a sudden you see it all over the internet. Manifest this, manifest that. All kinds of programs that you can buy. Don't waste your money. It's very, very, very simple. It doesn't matter how many of those programs you buy, how much you meditate, how much you ask for what you want. There is a formula that you must follow in the visualization technique to really make the manifestation work. So Neville Goddard is one of the most important and influential New Thought voices of the past century. And he's the one that came up with this method of visualization. And the number one thing that he says is, you have to assume the feeling of the manifestation before the manifestation happens. So in other words, you know how we get nice surprises sometimes. You get a check. I got a check, yay! That's already been manifested and you get excited. But a week ago, you didn't have that check. And a week ago, by using this method, you could have had that check earlier. So the way to do that is to project yourself in the future, already receiving or already getting or already making your goal. So Neville said the imagination is the very gateway to reality. Daydreaming, you guys. It is okay to daydream. You want to daydream. Daydreaming is what it activates the vibration inside you. When you daydream, let's say about the beach, what do you feel? You feel elated. You feel happy. Those are good vibrations that are happening. And guess what? You are manifesting at that moment the idea that are to come to you to take you to the beach. If money is stopping you, you got to get the money. It's law. But you have to feel it. You got to be in it. So there is a formula. And it took me a long time to find this formula, and it's a really big treat, you guys. This is the biggest golden nugget that I will ever give you. For those of you that are here on the training, congratulations, because it took me months to even find this. I'm going to give you the secret formula for free. It's going to change your life. So what is this formula? What is the formula for manifesting your dreams? What is it? I have been meditating. I have been asking for everything, and nothing is happening. I'm going to tell you what it is. So the first thing is you got to know what you really, really want. What is it that you want? I want money. Well, how much money? Put a number on it. Put a figure. I've got a couple of checks here that I got from when I was doing Forex. They have like a little rebate program. And I was so excited. I got 68 cents. And you know what I did? 68 cents? I said, all right, I'm going to change that to 6,800,000. And I wrote it down, and that check is right now in my wall. Because one day I'm going to get a check for 6,800,000. So what is it that you really want? Write it down and be specific. So for example, in network marketing, you want to be a crown. Well, what does a crown look like for you? What kind of team do you have? What kind of leader do you have? What kind of money coming into your bank account? All of those specifics. Really paint that picture of what you really want. Then after you do that, you're going to construct an event that implies fulfillment of your desires. So for example, you received a very large check from an unknown source, and you have paid off all of your debt. Let's say that you have student loan debt. Let's say that you have tax debt. Whatever it is, you all paid off free and clear, and you have plenty left over to do whatever you want with it. You can go and make it rain if you want. So then you throw an extravagant party for all of your family and friends to celebrate your new adventure. So what you're going to do is you're going to construct this moment. What does that look like? Maybe you're in a really big house. Maybe you got entertainment section. Whatever it is, you're already in the future getting that check. And you paid off all your debt. Now, what does this party look like? Imagine the excitement. What do you feel when you're at that party? Who did? Maybe your mom did, your husband, your kids, your friends, your family. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit there and you're going to imagine yourself there. Now, this is the tricky part. A lot of people, when they try to manifest, they see themselves like a movie. And I'm guilty of that. I'll picture myself like I see myself talking to people like it's a movie. What you want to do is you want to be in it. You want to imagine, you don't see yourself. You are yourself in this manifestation. You're there. And you see your hand shaking people's hands. You see yourself hugging people. You feel all the feeling that you can have. So what does it feel like? What would it feel like today if you received $1 million in your bank account right now in this moment? What would you do? I would be jumping up, excited with joy. I can imagine that feeling. You're like, oh my God. I mean, I can feel it right now, like elevating my energetic vibration right now. But that's the key, you guys. So once you start, you take 3 deep breaths. So in order to induce a sleepy state, it's just getting yourself into a state of relaxation. And a lot of people say they can't meditate, and that's okay. You still zone out. I know many of you still do that. Many of you probably have a conversation and zone out and you start thinking of other things. That's the form of meditation, you guys. So whatever is comfortable with you, you're going to sit down and you're going to have an intent. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this practice. It takes 5 minutes. It's very quick. So you get relaxed. You take 3 deep breaths. 4 counts in, pause, and then 4 counts out. And you do that 3 times, you get yourself into a really relaxed state. Then you start imagining, you start daydreaming. Dream about that party. Dream about you celebrating. Look who's there. Have conversations with the people that's there. I'm going to give you guys an example. Right now, I am writing a book. I am an inspiring author. I am very excited about my book. But like anyone else, I have, I have a fear of where it's going to go. Am I going to be successful? So you know what I do is I dream big, number 1. I'm going to be on Oprah, number 2. And I have visualized myself sitting down with Oprah, talking to Oprah, literally. I can see her face like a clear day. And I imagine herself, and I imagine the feeling that I have and how happy I am, and those moments. And I can tell you it's really powerful, because when I come out of that, I'm like, I can do it. I'm going to be on Oprah, and I will be on Oprah, you guys. No matter how long it takes, my book will be on there. So the last thing is to reenact it over and over again. It's not enough to do it once. The best practice would be maybe once a day, twice a day, depending on how much you really want it. Depends on how much you really want it. It depends on where your mindset is at the time. Remember, any kind of practice would take about 21 to 30 days to really get the results that you want. Once a day is fine. I used to do it when I wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, it's actually the best time to do it, because when you're sleeping, the law of attraction is not working. The law of attraction is stagnant. It's calm. It's reset. And then the minute you wake up, your thoughts start coming. So this is a great time to just take 5 minutes when you're laying in bed and to start dreaming. And if you do that every morning consistently, you're going to have the most amazing days. It can take as little as 3 days to get the ball rolling on something amazing. When the manifestations start happening, you guys, it's incredible. It really is. So after you reenact it over and over again, you want to do it until it feels real, until you really believe it. Then, once you have that state of vibration, then you carry on in faith that it is done. This is why Jeff Reynolds in his training will tell you it's done. If you want to be crowned, it's done. You see him in his social media that he posts sometimes. 1,000 diamonds, done. Because he used that visualization technique and he knows it's done. When you have imagined something, it's already done, you guys. It's already done. When you imagine it, the law of attraction starts activating the components necessary to bring you to your dreams. It is law. The minute you start doubting yourself is when you start going back and forth. That's why life is like this, because we're not consistent. Okay, so let's say that I want to give you some additional tips to change your mindset, because the visualization technique does take some time. Some of us have a hard time visualizing, and that's okay. There's a lot of other tools out there to help change that mindset. Once you change that mindset, you guys, the world is your oyster. The solutions are going to come. How to recruit people, how to do this, how to do that. You're gonna get on your Facebook, you're gonna get the post that you need to see. The universe, the attraction is really how it works, you guys. You think that the post can be found just by accident? Because when I go on my Facebook, it's not the same as someone else's Facebook. The first thing you see on your Facebook is meant for you. Those are the things that the law of attraction is bringing you, everything that happened to you. So if you start paying attention to that, you'll see there's a lot of solutions that are meant for you. So the first one, pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people. This one lady told me that when she was driving, she would get in her car. Maybe you guys, some of you have experienced it. You get in your car and you drive. You go to your destination from A to B, and then once you get there, you're like, "How did I get here? I didn't even remember." Those are your unconscious thought pattern you just let run amok. And when you do that, you're a mess. You got to pay attention to your thoughts. Then when you start paying attention to your thoughts, change the negative thoughts every time you're aware. There's a second movie that really gave me a lot of clarity, and it's called Thoughts Become Things, or How Thoughts Become Things. It's by David Friedman, and it's also on Netflix. And what he said is basically, imagine your mind as a shopping mall. And you have the negative thought, let's say, for example, I can't do it. So you're mentally walking through the shopping mall, you go to the cashier, and in this particular mall, you can get any kind of thought that you want. There's a million thoughts that you can get. And you're telling the cashier, I want to exchange this thought, please. I want to exchange this for, I can do it. I want to exchange, I am poor to, I'm feeling wealthy, I am wealthy. If that helps, you can mentally go to the cashier in your mind and you can change it. And once you start forcing your mind to start doing that, the rest, you start building a habit and it comes to you automatically. Your life is going to improve 100-fold. But you got to pay attention to your thoughts. You have to. So the next one is visualize at least 15 minutes a day. Daydream. It doesn't have to be for 15 minutes sitting down. A lot of us, again, lack of time. A lot of us believe we don't have the time. Make the time. You make the time to do the things you really want to do. It's the truth. It's a choice. Every single minute of every single day is a choice that you make. So visualize at least 15 minutes. A good way to do it is in the car. If you're stuck in traffic, if you live in LA, for example, that's the perfect time. You're stuck in traffic, maybe even Miami. I remember I was stuck in traffic, not moving. Pay attention to your thoughts. Use that time to start visualizing. Start daydreaming. As a matter of fact, you're going to work, let's just say. Start daydreaming of what it's going to look like. Oh, I'm going to go to work and it's going to be perfect. This person's going to say hi to me. This person's going to treat me with love. My boss is going to give me a raise. Wouldn't that be nice? Start daydreaming. I'm gonna get a prospect on my phone. And they're gonna say, I want to join your team. Wouldn't that be awesome? Use the time to visualize, daydream. Another good one is to state your intention as often as possible before you start a task. So for example, when I did the training today, I sat down and I told myself I intend to deliver the most impactful training that I can to help elevate people's lives. I want to make a difference. That's my intention. That's why I'm sitting here in front of you today. This training would not look the same if I sat down and didn't say that intention, because now I'm just leaving it to chance, to random. When you state the intention, you're telling the law of attraction what you want. Then the law of attraction is going to bring you the thought. That's why my presentation is so fluid right now, because the law of attraction is telling me what to say. I'm in that thought pattern because I stated my intent. And when you state that intent, it is law. The law of attraction will match it. This is what gives you steering control. Don't leave your life up to chance. You have some control over your life. You control what you think. You are not your thoughts. The thoughts are a gift. It's a tool that the law of attraction brings to you. So once you have control of the steering, you can go in the direction that you want to go. You might not become a millionaire overnight. You could. If you really master the manifestation, why not? I truly believe in the possible. As a matter of fact, I went to go buy a lottery ticket, and even though I didn't win, there are people that could buy it at random and they win $180 million. You're like, what? It can happen. But you got to start controlling what's up here. You create your own reality, and there is no more truth in these words than what you see here. You have the ability to create. We are co-creators in the universe. We came to the universe to have joy. Another great movie, if you guys haven't seen it, is Disney. I believe it's Soul. The cutest movie I've ever seen. And if you guys haven't seen it, it really helps to put perspective on why we're even here on Earth. No matter what you believe, it's a perspective, but it helps to change your mentality, because let's face it, you guys, if you're not happy where you are in this moment, that means that you created this environment. You created where you are through your thoughts, through your actions. So if you want to change it, you're going to have to make an effort, and you can change it. I've given you guys a lot to think about, and I hope you guys have taken a lot of notes. I can tell you that miracles are real, you guys. They really are. And there's a lot of skeptics out there, and that's okay. They can be skeptical. It doesn't matter. If there's any one of you on the call that feels that this isn't for you, that's okay. One day, when you're open to receiving, the blessing will come and it will rain. But you got to believe. You got to believe that you can do it. You got to erase the negative thought pattern. Whatever you think about network marketing, if you think that this prospect doesn't have any money, or where I live in India, everybody's poor. Guys, there's rich people everywhere. There's a lot of money in the world. There's a lot of money in the world. There's plenty of abundance for anyone. They're everywhere. So if you want to get there, you guys, this is the first step. I hope you enjoyed the training. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I really hope this makes a difference in all of you guys' lives. And feel free to text me, and whatever question you might have, inspiration. I want more than anything to see everyone succeed. So I really appreciate your time, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, guys.